Well, hey there, everyone. Welcome back to Campfire Tales. And once again, it's another sensual sensation of a week. It's just Dave and myself again. We just got to keep the weirdness going. How you doing, Dave?
Doing good.
Good.
Feeling extra weird this week.
Well, that's really good because I have a question for you.
Okay.
Okay, Dave. Let's just say you're out walking off the beaten path like you do. You know,
Like I do.
you're out hiking, out trying to see the world, and you're walking along a path, and as you're walking, all of a sudden jumps out this strange creature, proceeds to stare you directly in your eyes, and then grabs its scrotum and pulls it over its face. What is your reaction going to be?
Well, first, it's not again. And then second, it's Eli, put your pants on.
I if that is, I wish I could say that's the weirdest thing I want to say to you tonight.
That's just the warm up. Huh?
That's just a warm up. Last week we watched Godzilla -1, big kaiju, and I was trying to think. I was sitting there going, man, what can we talk about? Because as you know, kaijus aren't real. There's not a lot of legends about kaijus per se. There's some, we've talked about most of them. And then Japan, the land that keeps on giving, I found I started looking some of their cryptids, and I found a couple I just want to talk about tonight.
So we're going to be talking about bangers for sure.
Oh, every time I think, well, surely we've talked about everything there is. It just keeps giving. It's just gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. As a people, they are folklorists.
Oh,
from way back.
They are.
I love it.
And some are great. Some are odd.
Odd and great.
Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about a few of them tonight.
We've already got the butthole eye ghost. Come on.
Well, he's got some friends. He's got some friends apparently. And I will also lead off by saying, I'm about to butcher the shit out of some words. So,
and you're not even sorry about it.
Not at all. Not at all. Hey, you want to start talking about some Japanese cryptids?
Let's do this.
Well, we might as well go right up top and talk about your rather large scrotum friend.
Mr. Batwings.
Mr. Batwings. In Japan, there's an animal called a tanuki, which it basically means raccoon dog. Kind of looks like a mix between a raccoon and a dog. Well, what if I told you back in the day in ye olde Japan, they actually thought there was these like trickster spirits who looked like tanuki, so they called them tanuki, that their whole job was to run around and be chaotic. And the main thing they were known for was running across wanderers and either just stretching out their scrotum so they could see it, or stretching it over their faces and making funny faces through their scrotum, or one of my personal favorites, turning them into a giant watercraft.
Their
scrotums.
Like canoeing their own tank.
Yes. Yeah. That was their whole deal. Just fucking around with their scrotum.
Hey, there's worse things.
So, Godzilla, giant sea creature.
Yeah.
Tanuki, giant scrotum. Which is impressive. It had a bigger scrotum than Godzilla, apparently.
I was going to say, it has some elasticity to it, it sounds like. So
multi-use. It's like a multi-use tool, you know what I mean? Hey, I can wrap it around my face and make a face. I could just stretch it out real far. I could make it into a boat.
So just for clarification, is this Tanuki, the raccoon dog? That's a real animal?
That is a real animal.
And this just pretends to look like one?
Yes.
Okay.
So
it control people with its under region?
It didn't even really, I was looking, it didn't really do anything but run around until it found a wanderer. It was just like, hey, look what I can do. And then like balloon animal their scrotum. And like they're like, it just wanted to cause chaos. And I'm like, that would be a one hell of a show. Can you imagine, Dave? Let's say you live in ancient Japan and you were out wandering during the day, you know, working, whatever. And this raccoon / dog / man runs up to you in the wild, stretches his scrotum out, and like is making faces through it, and then like just turns, runs to the lake, whips out scrotum, and floats away. Is that going to be the first thing you tell at the bar that night?
Probably. Yeah.
I feel like you have to.
On the list. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating, you know, obviously you and I both being from the Appalachian area region, all of our cryptids and ghosts and haints and stuff like that all want to kill you.
Yeah.
This guy's just out for a good time. He actually doesn't even care what you think.
Yeah.
He's just doing stuff.
He's not even like trying to get a reaction. There's no reasoning behind it. It's just like this guy looks like he wants to see a scrotum.
I have an audience now.
Yeah. I'm about to show you things that no one's going to believe. Whoop, 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 whoop. It's like, wow, you're right. That's, you know what? If there's one thing, this is like, I think our third trip to Japan, and even like some of their demons were just about like doing nonsense instead of actually being like demons. But you're right. In old Appalachia, everything wants to kill you. There is no just like, oh, they're just funny, or oh, they just do weird things.
Yeah, they seem to take being dead real personal.
Yeah. And in Japan, you have like a scrotum ghost, an eyeball butthole ghost. Like, come on.
A guy who wants to ladle water into your boat?
Come on. Like, where's our scrotum haint? Where's our eye butthole guy? Like,
doesn't
seem right.
Let's make the afterlife great again. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Listen, I think that is reasonable to be like, hey, for every 2 creatures in the US that want to kill you, one just wants to show you its scrotum.
And I hate that I'm going to say this, and it's not because this is their intent, but the closest thing we have is this donkey lady. I mean,
oh, wait. Are you trying to say donkey? Listen, man, donkey lady attacks people.
Yeah, I know like I said, it's not her intent to be goofy and useless, but it's the closest thing we have to this fun little raccoon dog.
And not the frog with a wand.
Oh, well, that's true. You got me there. The frog with the wand, he's just out there for a good time too.
He didn't attack. No, he just sparkled through the field.
Exactly. He didn't even notice that the person was there, probably.
No. I still want to know where he carries that wand out. He had no pants.
Exactly.
Well, so and you can tell me when I go to this list, you tell me one's your favorite, but you're gonna find that it's real like 0 to 100 in Japan, I think, because the next one is called a Uragumo.
I'm sure that's exactly what it's called.
That's how I'm sounding it out. Apparently, what a Uragumo is when a orb weaver spider turns 400 years old.
Sweet.
It very quickly grows described as horrifically large, where it can make its top half become a beautiful woman just to lure men to eat them.
Really?
Right.
Seems like I've played a video game with a Spider Woman demon, and you're like a samurai.
Yeah. Yeah, wasn't that oh yeah, there's a game talking about.
Yeah.
But I have to ask though, so it lures men, but like You're a man.
Yeah.
I'm also a man. I feel like if I'm walking through the woods and I hear woohoo, and I look, and it's a beautiful lady from the waist up, and then a giant spider ass with giant spider legs, I'm not going to be like, I got to get her number.
I got to find out more.
Yeah. I feel like I'm like, that seems like a trap.
Well, yeah, to be honest with you, Eli, that's exactly what I was thinking when you said she lures men to their death.
Yeah.
I mean, she must have one heck of a charismatic personality.
Or not like she like
Or
tuck
she,
her spider butt.
Yeah, she buries herself in like a little divot and then does her thing. But yeah, that seems like an ope kind of moment. Like nope, this is not what I thought.
No. It almost
as soon
feels
as
like
you get close enough to recognize.
Like Monty Python-esque.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, she had a spider butt. Like, but like, it's like, but yeah, she had a beautiful face. It's like, but what about the spider butt and legs? Oh, well, you know.
It's like that old saying. She may have a great personality and a beautiful face, but you got to be careful despite her waist.
Oh my God. That's the worst. Just the worst. And
even spider waist.
The worst. And even if she hit her spider butt, then you're like walking through the woods and like, you're just like, there's a big pile of leaves and just some random lady from the waist up sticking out of it. That seems odd.
Yes. A bit.
Hey, come over and talk to me. I don't know.
About what?
Why are you in those leaves? Why aren't you wearing a shirt?
Exactly.
You're in the woods. There are ticks here. That one, I was just like, okay, all right, like, cool.
Yeah. Well, and you bring up a good point. Let me paint a picture for you, Eli. Okay, you tell me.
Please do.
You're out hiking, middle of the woods, summertime, pitch black outside.
Love it.
And you come across a normal woman who's completely disrobed. Aren't you going to be concerned? Are you still going to be attracted to them at all? Or are you going to still run the other way?
It's going to be one of those things where like, if I'm walking and like I hear hello and I just like turn and like little ways, just like this naked lady just randomly stand in the woods. I'm going to do like the kind of like look around. Like, is this a setup?
Yeah. Hey, at the very least, there's a friend with a camera on TikTok somewhere.
And if they're like, just come over here, I'm like, no.
I don't think I will.
And you just do like the quick turn around and go back the other way, just like, but you zigzag through the trees. So it's like, you don't run. You don't look like you're panicking.
Yeah, you don't want to spook them.
You do the weird walking zigzag through the trees. Like, why aren't they walking in a straight line? It's like, don't worry about it. I'm just trying to
keep them guessing.
There's a situation over there. I don't want to be a part of it,
and I don't want them following me.
And then like you get back, they're like, hey, there's a lady who went missing and she lost her clothes. Did you by any chance see her? And then you have to do the no, I did not. There's someone lost in the woods. You say, that's terrible.
Oh no.
Did she have a spider butt? The next one is called the Kamatachi.
The Tamagotchi?
Kamatachi?
Kamikaze?
Kamatachi, I think it is. Kamachichi?
Chameleon?
Baby. It's just a weasel. With one exception. Its claws are shaped like sickles.
The old sickle weasel.
So it's sounds like something I'd say in high school.
I was going to say, I tried that once in college and got slapped.
Their whole thing is they like to cut people with their sickle claws, but they like to do it in style. And the way they do this is they wait until a whirlwind appears, and they jump on the whirlwind and ride it around and sickle claw people that are too close to the whirlwind.
God, I love Japanese culture.
Mainly, it likes to cut people in their calves and ankles. So
while riding its twister.
While riding a whirlwind. Not even a twister. A whirlwind. A dust cloud, if you will.
So it's literally the Tasmanian devil.
No, Tasmanian devil made its own whirlwind. It spun. This rides on top. Well, it says on top, but I feel like if it's only cutting calves and ankles, it'd almost have to be like stripper pole gripping the whirlwind,
yeah, exactly.
so it can reach the ankles and the.
That's definitely the problem with this story is the physics. The physics aren't working out for us.
We're not done yet because, after when it cuts you, it's got it secretes something in its claws, so it doesn't hurt and it doesn't bleed. It will hurt later though, because they want you to anticipate the pain, and so it cuts you and you're like, damn, and you're like, oh man, a couple hours is gonna hurt, and then it does.
It's like dating.
It is.
When they say something and at some point you're going to realize what they were actually saying. Yep. And it's going to haunt you.
It's funny you bring that up because it's on record only been known to attack men.
Exactly.
So do with that what you will.
The constant victims of the sickle weasel.
That once again, you're walking in the woods. That's a hell of a sight.
Yeah.
To see a weasel riding on a dust cloud. Do you run? Or do you just climb up a tree?
I just wait and see where this is headed.
Or do you just sit on your calves and ankles because that's the only place it wants to cut you?
Because let's be honest, have I ever seen a weasel ride a dust cloud before? No. Let's see where it heads. Because, obviously if it starts heading in my direction, I know how to get around a dust cloud.
Right. And it's just a regular weasel, so I feel like you could fight it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like
it just wants to hurt my feelings.
It's not a giant weasel. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a demon weasel. It's just a weasel with fucked up claws that for some reason only wants to attack men.
In a whirlwind.
Riding a whirlwind.
That's a lot. I mean,
hey, what do you want from it? Okay, it's a weasel, so it knows it's not faster than you. And
just 2 miles down the trail, I saw a raccoon dog pull its scrotum across its head and make faces. Let's see where this show goes.
If you let's say, Dave, you live in ancient Japan or old timey Japan, however you want to call it. You're like, I need to go from point A to point B. I know if I go straight through the forest, it's a straight shot. I'll save some time.
But
the first day you're walking, this like dog man pops out, shows you a scrotum, runs away. You're like, okay. And then there's like a lady with a spider butt, like, hey, come over here. And now you see a weasel riding on a road. At what point do you be like, you know what? I'm just going to turn around and go back. I'm going to take the long way around.
Maybe this wasn't such a great shortcut. Or maybe this is why this is a shortcut.
Yeah. Like I'd be like, okay, you know what? Force isn't for me.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay because this next cryptid we're going to talk about, it resides right in your home.
No getting away from them then.
So no, because back in the day, a lot of Japanese homes contained like their own personal temple with their Buddha shrine.
Uh-huh.
And it was like it was not a room, but it was like this cabinet. They had their Buddha iconography and everything they worship. Well, at night, if you forgot to close that cabinet, then the Noribotake would appear. Noribotake, which I butchered the shit out of that word, in Japanese means lacquered Buddha. Lacquered. Now, you know what lacquer is?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
glossy paint.
What this is a creature will appear that looks somewhat like Buddha, except for he secretes oil from his skin, like black oil, that apparently smells really, really bad. and his eyeballs just hang out of the socket.
Well, that's not great.
And he has a tail that looks like a catfish tail.
A catfish tail.
A catfish tail. Yeah. Yeah. And
but he still has arms and legs, right?
Yeah, he looks like Buddha, except for he's sweating black oil. For some reason, it has a catfish tail.
And his eyes are hanging out.
Eyes hanging out over his cheeks, and he smells really bad.
So it's Buddha on a Monday.
It's Buddha on a Monday. It's Buddha after a long Friday night.
Exactly.
You know? And basically, what he does is he just hangs out.
Stinks up the joint.
And if he tricks you into thinking he's actually Buddha, which I feel like you'd have to
be pretty drunk,
awfully gullible to be like, oh, this
that's just a Buddha floating
anything
around.
We were told, but okay, sure. He'll then give you, he'll do one of two things if he tricks you. He will either give you false prophecies that aren't real.
Great.
Or he'll just dance around your house all night.
That could be fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at what time is it not fun anymore? Like, it's like 3:00 in the morning. You try to sleep. And he's like, oh, and it's like smells real bad. He's like, hey, oh, you know.
That's true. Like by hour 2, I'm probably like, okay, dude, let's wrap this up. Because he only knows probably what 5 or 6 songs.
I would imagine it's just him going da 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 da. His eyes are like dangling. Oh, watch my catfish tail. If you fart on a Wednesday, the world will end. And he like makes fart noise with his mouth. Oh, it's too late.
It wasn't me.
The best part is, it does not appear once you get him that there's any way to get rid of him.
This is your life now?
That's your life now. The rest of your life, your house smelling really bad, and some sweaty, dirty guy with his eyes slapped around outside his face is just constantly dancing around your house.
You thought I was Buddha.
And telling you fake prophecies.
You're going to be a millionaire tomorrow. Wink.
Watch me dance some more.
Your wife loves you.
That might be of all the crazy things I've read about Japanese folklore. That one might be hellish. The worst. Like that might be worse than even like the serious ones that like kill you, because I think just the dancing alone, I don't like it when people dance for short amount of times.
Exactly.
Dancing's dumb.
Not even at your own wedding. I can see the look on your face. You were not impressed.
No. Listen, if I grew up in a footloose town,
you'd be the dad.
Perfect place. Yeah. No dancing. None.
That's the rule.
Because I can't imagine he's a good dancer. You know, it's not like he's breaking out some like crazy moves. I just have to imagine it's just like that. It's like that high school prom, the nerdy guy standing over the side, hoping someone has some dance. So they're just all
overbite, move the shoulder kind of.
Yeah, they're like all right each other. They're just doing like the if I move my shoulders more, maybe someone will ask me to dance.
I have got it going on. Yeah, I think we might officially have gotten to a cryptid from Japan that I would choose a skinless haint over.
Kill me now. Just kill me. Don't make me watch it dance. Would you? Well, what if I told you that is not, there's something worse in your house.
Okay.
Than dancing
fake Buddha.
And it's called a Sukumagami. Sukugami.
Tamagotchi.
Sukugami is what happens when a general household item,
like a toilet,
anything, an umbrella, a hammer, a straw, turns 100.
Wow.
Because they believed once it turned 100, for some reason, these household items were given a soul. And if you treated these items well, it would be friendly to you. If you treated it badly or misused your item, it would try to take vengeance against you.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, like,
so is this just manufactured items or anything?
That is correct. Any household item.
Okay.
Some of the examples, which this may be my favorite, some of the examples that they give is it could any item, including an umbrella, a common tool, or my personal favorite, a futon, which is known as a, once it gets a soul, is called a, and if it's vengeful, it's called a Boraboritan.
A Boraboritan.
Yeah.
So what does a vengeful futon do? How does it exact its vengeance?
I imagine like you unfold it and then like you lay in it and it folds.
Because I may have one of those. If its vengeance is you wake up feeling more crippled than you did when you went to bed.
Yep.
Then I have one of those.
Yeah. Is it 100 years old?
No, but I feel like I'm 100 years old. It's weird. It started, I don't know if it turned 100 when I turned 40, but that's when it started. And it's just seemed to have gotten worse throughout my life, especially if I sleep more than 7 hours. Like if I think, I want to give myself a break and sleep another couple of hours. And then I'm just crippled for the rest of the day.
But you know what? I bet you, did you mistreat it?
I must have really pissed it off.
Yeah. Give it old Dorito fart one time. It was like, that's it.
Enough is enough.
I was trying to, when I was reading this earlier, I was trying to think, what would be the worst item in your house to try to seek vengeance against you? And I kept coming up with the toilet.
Of course. Yeah.
You mean?
Because you depend on it. It's a very symbiotic relationship.
Yeah. Like you have to plunge it every time you take a poop. Or like you flush and it sprays water on you.
Yeah.
Or if you courtesy flush, it gives you the Poseidon kiss. Yeah.
Yep.
Nothing
you know what else would be heinous to be haunted? Is your fingernail clipper set.
Oh.
Where you've been there before where it doesn't clip through and it twists on you. You feel like you just ripped your whole fingernail. Especially your toenails. It'd be heinous.
Or your coffee table, because it just generally slides
right in front of your toes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's one way to like stop this. Just throw it away.
I was going to say, it sounds like in Japan, antiquing isn't a big pastime.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be.
No.
Because that's pretty much just a haunted shop at that point, right?
Pretty much. So Dave, in our story we've been weaving through this tonight so far, you've walked through the woods. You're like, hey, I'm going to stay this little hut. It's getting dark. I had to run from a weasel. Then you didn't get a lot of sleep because all night some guy just leaking oil, danced and
stinking up the place,
and said weird prophecies, and so you're like, oh man, this is the fucking worst. And you leave and you get to a little clearing in the woods, a futon, just right in the middle of the woods.
I know that's not right.
You gotta sit down for maybe like, it's
no, sir, I am not that dim. Because I'm still looking for Spider Lady because she's out there.
Oh, she is. And I feel like she'd be annoying. Like, why didn't you want to come see me? Like, you have a spider butt. You have 8 spider legs. No, I don't.
The spider waist.
Oh, stop it. This next one. Maybe one of the oddest ones of all.
Wow.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We're going to be talking about a new Peppo. Not Peppo.
I've got a new Peppo.
Not new. No Peppo.
The Peppo.
The Peppo. The Peppo is
Geppetto's cousin.
Geppetto's cousin. The Peppo is a blob-like creature.
Mm-hmm.
That is so fat, but its fat hangs over its face which is on its belly. And so you can see its face pressing against its belly fat.
So it's like Scrotum Boy, except it's his fat instead of his personal parts.
Yes. And they just walk around. They don't do anything. They apparently smell like rotting flesh.
Okay.
And they just kind of walk around graveyards and temples. They just walk around. They don't bother nobody. They never hurt anybody. But legend in Japan was that if you could find one and catch it and kill it, and if you ate a bunch of its flesh, you could get either eternal life or cure a disease. So people would go hunting for these to try to kill them to eat their flesh.
Harvesting monsters in order to.
I don't even know if I'd call it a monster. It's just this like weird blob of fat thing, just like kind of walking around, just mind its own business. Everybody, he just smells bad, you know. Got a glandular problem, maybe.
Yeah.
And people are just always trying to find it to murder it to eat its fat flesh.
I'm going to be honest with you, Eli. There have been nights that I've had where I've binged on Doritos and Hot Pockets and garbage food, and I may have wandered out into the night as one of these. I may have transformed at some point into this item until the breaking sun.
Did anybody?
Nobody hunted me.
I was gonna say, did anybody chase you down, try to kill you?
Luckily, I must have been in a safe space where they didn't know the lore. But I've definitely been here. I empathize with this creature.
Oh, for sure. I love chili. And I'm like, I always eat like 2 or 3 bowls of it when it's made. And then I'm like, oh.
And you spill some on your shirt. Yep. So you have to take your shirt off.
Yeah. And then you're just like laying there. You're like rubbing your belly. And you're like, oh. And you're farting. So you smell bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The house
you're
rains,
right.
So you got to go outside. You just got to.
Maybe you're onto something here.
But it also reminds me of the egg ghost that was a personal favorite of mine. It sounds they must be related in some way.
Yeah, at least the egg ghost, like no one really mess with it. They're like, oh, if you see it, you could die. Where like this poor fucker who, like, if you see it, brutally murder it and eat its flesh.
On top of being bloated and miserable, it's got a fin for its life.
Yeah. And it doesn't have, for the pictures, it doesn't have arms. It's just like a big ball with legs and like a little face in its belly. And it's like, you see it running like,
yeah. And when I've been in that state, the last thing I want to do is be chased through the woods for anything.
At what point, Dave, would you consider trying to follow these in its flesh?
I can't think of a situation.
How sick do you have to be like, this might be my only cure?
If a lot of things have gone wrong in my life, buddy, before I'm going to go chase a blob man through the woods to try and eat him.
I even feel like if a doctor's like, I'm sorry, you're dying, you have 3 months to live. There's one option though. You can go hang out at the cemetery all night until this big fat blobby thing comes and you can murder and eat its raw flesh. And I'm like,
are you a real doctor? That's my next question.
I'm looking like I'm like, am I at a doctor's office?
Why are you holding that mop, sir?
Yeah. This is a Chili's.
Take on it. Not again.
I also don't know what it is with a lot of these Japanese lores where it's like either you have to eat it or it has to eat you.
Lots of eating.
Yeah, a lot of like eating stuff. I'm like, we don't have to. You know what I mean?
I can say no.
Yeah, like we don't have to. Why does the spider lady have to eat me? She's in the forest. There's got to be deer and things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I have to say, and I've had the good fortune to have gotten to go to Japan several times. And like if you have friends, and I do, I have a lot of friends who are Japanese who live in the country even now, that if you go to their Instagram page, like more than half, a large majority of their stuff is food photos. Like they have a ton of, like, food is a big thing there. Like there's pride in crafting the food. You know, obviously if you like sushi or ramen or any of those things, you know that the fixing of food is a high art form there. But even just beyond that, food in general plays a big role in kind of all of their social events and all the stuff that I don't know where that comes from, but it is something I've observed. Like food is a big deal. So to your point, I guess that includes the management of their cryptid population.
Yeah. They're like, well, they have to eat too. Because speaking of eaters, we have a couple of them here that to just prove my point. The next one is the Ashinaga Tanaga.
Love it.
Ashinaga Tanaga. Ashinaga apparently is Japanese for long legs, and Tanaga means long arms.
Still haven't seen that movie. Heard it's terrible.
The worst movie I've seen in.
Is it really Antlers level? Because you mentioned that in one of our reviews. Sorry.
If I'm being 100% honest, we're talking about long legs here. And if I get hate for this, I don't give a shit.
So be it.
Lick my butthole. Long legs is. If it would have went on for 10 more minutes, I would have said it was worse than Antlers.
Wow. It just got out by the skin of its teeth.
Just by the skin of its teeth. And once again, for people who are like, oh, you just saying that because Nicolas Cage. No, I've been real busy lately. It's like, Dave knows I've not paid attention much to like pop culture stuff with, what's going on.
Had your head down.
I've had head down, been real busy. And I had a random day off. Mary goes, man, I really want to see Long Legs. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'm off. I haven't been in the movies for a while. Yeah, sure, let's go see a movie. So we're driving to the theater, and I go, what's Long Legs about? And she goes, you don't know? And I went, no. I said, I have not even heard of this movie. I have no clue. She's like, you haven't even seen the trailers? I went, haven't watched a lot of TV lately. Or
I've been working.
Yeah, don't really know. She goes, well, it's a Nicolas Cage movie. And I went, what are we doing?
Strike one.
What are we doing? She's but no. She goes, all the stuff I read, it's basically Silence of the Lambs, and people are saying like this is like a really serious role Nicolas Cage did. And so as I'm driving, I thought to myself, go, you know what? He used to act normal, and like if this
could be fine.
If this is serious, like Silence of the Lambs, and he actually pulls it off, I'm like, this actually could be really good. This could be a defining moment for him. They're like, oh, this is when people knew he really could act. And so like I went in completely. All right, cool. Let's see what happens. First 20 minutes, I was like, there was some stuff I was like, okay. But I was like, this is interesting. Like, okay, all right. Except for this one thing that's super dumb. Like, this is cool. This is all right. I'm into it. And then he goes on screen for the first time that you fully see him and he talks. And I literally, this is no joke. I'm sitting in the theater. You finally see him for the first time. He speaks
the creature
his first
or
line. Nicolas Cage.
Mm-hmm.
He speaks for the first time. He goes, and I literally turned to Mary in the theater. I go out loud. I couldn't even help myself. I went, "What the fuck is this?"
It was that good.
Nope. And Mary's like, "No, just give it a chance. Give it a chance." And then 10 more minutes goes by, and she looks at me and goes, "I'm sorry."
Oops.
Yeah. And we both left that theater feeling worse for wasting time.
So do you regret the big chess piece you got before seeing
I wish I never did. I thought this was about spiders. I was like, where's that lady spider butt? Everybody's like, what? At one point we're in the theater. So he shows up a lot in the movie. And at one point, there was like a guy who was sitting a couple rows down from us. And at one point, like he comes on screen again, and you hear this exasperated, just like, "Oh my god, not again!"
Like, he's back.
It's like
that is not a great sign.
No. But anyways, where was I? Oh yeah,
long legs and long arms.
Japanese long legs. Basically, they believe this is a creature, but it looks exactly like a man, with the exception of they have extremely long legs and arms. They're so long, they walk on their arms and legs like stilts. They can't just like walk on their legs because they're too long. They have to like use their hands too. And all they do all day is just walk around the river and catch fish with their long arm.
They sound similar to those. What were the creatures in Dark Crystal that they rode around on?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
sounds like that kind of deal.
The only exception to that, Dave, is that people have claimed that they've seen them, and some of them, which they don't know if they're like runts or if it's just different versions, but some of them only have long arms and some only have long legs. So what happens is ones that have the long legs teams up with the ones with the long arms. And there are pictures of the short-legged ones riding piggyback on the long-legged ones with their arms over their shoulders, and they're working together like a...
Wait.
Yes.
Wait, Eli. Are you telling me there are freaking cryptid Voltrons in Japan?
There is. I was literally just about to be like, they're basically Voltrons.
Congratulations, Japan. You win.
Now, it gets better, Dave. It gets better. Now, the pictures I've seen of this, the long leg ones can't have pants. They don't make pants long enough. Yeah. Right? All the pictures I've seen, they wear these like grass skirts, almost like hula skirts, but apparently they like a little breeze in their nether regions, because in all the pictures you can basically see the outline of their nuts. in these grass skirts. It's
Japanese cryptids are proud people.
They are. Sounds like. And you're like, yeah, there's like, which is also crazy because they tend to be kind of modest. The culture, right?
Whether they have an eye butthole,
right? But their cryptids are like, well, this one runs up to you, pulls his pants down, and shows you the eyeball and where his asshole should be. This one whips out its scrotum and rubs his face on it and like makes it a boat. These ones have long legs, so they just don't wear pants.
Because why would they?
Yeah. So like, yeah.
So do the long armed ones not wear shirts?
No, they do.
Oh, okay.
They do. But the long-legged ones don't wear pants. They wear skirts.
Well, then they're winning in the Voltron situation for sure.
And then a couple of the pictures I saw, like, they don't hurt nobody. But like a couple of the pictures I saw, there's be like a fisherman on the fishing bank screaming in the sky as these things like just like walk to the river, like picking up all the fish.
Stealing all his fish.
So like that's apparently the worst that they do.
I mean, I've been fishing several times. I have to imagine it would be cool at least to have that excuse when you get home empty-handed.
That's right. Like,
it wasn't your fault. It wasn't the lures. Freaking
one of these one of these Voltron things came and just started picking all the fish up, and then I saw its nuts. Like
it literally smacked off my forehead as it walked by.
And then if you don't think that's bad, I would go to get in the car to leave, and I go to pull out the road. The fucking dog thing and starts screwing about making faces at me.
And then he slides into the water and catches the fish I just had on my line.
And I'm like, what is happening here? What is happening?
I think I'm done fishing. I'm going to say it.
Once again, another cryptid that doesn't hurt anybody. Doesn't hurt anybody. Except for the fish. And, kind of could be offensive. They're just like, guys walk around with his nuts out. I mean, I get he has long legs, but like, why can't you wear shorts?
Hey, I'm applauding the confidence.
If you can wear a shirt, even though your arms are abnormally large, why can't you wear shorts?
Or even a grass skirt that's 12 inches longer.
Yeah.
That's all we're asking.
I would take 6 inches longer even. Just enough. But that's what they do.
Some guys are just nuts.
Wow. The net for our last and final cryptid from Japan. Once again, we have another eater.
Ooh.
The Fudakuchiona.
Of course.
Fudakuchiona. Now, Fudakuchiona start out as a regular woman. Just a person. But if their husbands are of a miser type or like is kind of greedy and like limits the amount of food he'll let his wife eat, logically, their hair gets real long and they can start controlling them like tentacles to try to grab food, with one little side effect. They're so hungry they get a mouth in the back of their head. So their hair is grabbing
They grow
food.
a second mouth.
Yeah, and their hair is grabbing food off the table and putting it in their front mouth and their back mouth and the back of their head.
Seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, they don't hurt nobody. They just eat with their hair, which is kind of gross.
So they're both consuming on both sides then.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
It's not like the food's going in one and coming out the other.
No, it's going in both mouths.
Okay.
But their hair is feeding them, like tentacle hair is feeding them, which
it's not great.
Seems like a design flaw because then like it's gotta be hair in that food.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, like that's what you. So like, I know people are saying, "Oh, Godzilla! Look at powerful Godzilla." All I have to ask you, Dave, is if you had an arena, they drop Godzilla right down, and then these fuckers walk out. Are you really going to put your money on Godzilla?
Like all of these against Godzilla?
It'd be a free for all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a battle royale.
I don't know, dude. I mean, it's going to be one of the highest revenue pay-per-view events of all time. Either way.
Oh, for sure.
Who's going to miss this?
There's got to be an underdog. Like everybody's going to be like, well, Godzilla, one breath weapon, they're all dead.
Yeah.
But you got to have
raccoon dog climbs his back.
Whips his scrotum up over his eyes.
Head. Yep.
Can't even see.
Yeah. Then the Voltrons all get together to make the Super Voltron.
And you know, he like they pick him up like a big fish. You know,
beat him with his testicles.
Yeah. Some guys just dancing.
You can't hit me.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I am.
If you step on your left foot, your right foot will fall off.
It's going to be a party.
It is. I have to be honest. Japanese cryptids are slowly becoming my favorite cryptids.
They are champions, 100%. I'm just imagining if A.A. Milne had been Japanese and written the 100 Acre Wood situation, that would have been a totally different story.
That it would
Lewis
not be
Carroll would never sleep again.
No, that would not be a children's story. I just don't think you can put a child in a story about a raccoon dog man who plays with a scrotum. Like, I just feel like that can't be in that book.
Yeah, it's not going to go great. Or the spider lady who lives down the holler.
No. He's not wearing a shirt for some reason.
Yeah.
You know, like they're slowly become, because like one of the things I always loved about kind of like American folklore is like we are one of the youngest countries.
Yeah.
But we have such a rich lore and like these
we've taken on a lot of cultures. Yeah.
We have. But then you go to Japan and they're like, why does everything there want to kill you? Don't you also have just funny ghost?
Yeah.
You're like, funny ghost? They're like, yeah, no one ever showed you their butthole eye? Well, I mean, at least got people that make faces to their scrotums, right?
What are these sentences you're speaking?
Yeah, it's like, I'm sorry, I think there's a language barrier. I thought you said scrotum.
It's definitely a hold my sake and watch this kind of situation.
I just feel like if I grew up in this time frame with old Jap, because that's like, which we talked about before, because like even some of their scary cryptids are like odd.
Yeah.
Like you remember that one guy that like he he would go into the high school bathrooms, and if you were pooping in the last stall, he'd knock on the door and hold up 2 rolls of toilet paper, one red, one blue,
and ruin your life.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, you pick a color, and either I'm going to stab you to death while you're pooping, or I'm going to strangle you. Like, you choose.
I just wanted to poop.
Yeah, it's like the other stalls were taken. Like, this was my only option. Wait, why am I being punished for just using this stall?
Pick a TP.
Can I at least put my pants on? No. You know? And then there was like that lady who was like, do you think I'm pretty? And if you said yes, she killed you. If you said no, she killed you.
Exactly.
So it's just like, and once again, it's when you were going to the bathroom. So like,
yeah. Like, don't go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Eat all you want. Never, ever, ever go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Oh, are you feeling sick? Go to the cemetery, kill that peaceful fat thing.
Exactly.
Eat its flesh. It's like, what?
Yeah. We salute you. We salute you.
You have my respect, Japan.
Yes.
You have my respect.
And, you know, after the last couple of weeks, getting to talk about Godzilla and our love for that movie and then all of these cryptids, I'll just put on the record, if anybody thinks there's any chance at all that you would want to have the top tier paranormal investigative team of the Wicked Wild podcast come to Japan and investigate any of your regions, I will put up the Patreon today to make that happen.
I would quit all my job, everything.
We would never come back, probably.
No, listen. Don't tempt me. Is all I have to say. Because like for one, I on TikTok when I'm not looking up my conspiracy theories, I follow I don't even know how I got onto them. Because I'm not somebody that likes to watch like Food Network or anything. But a lot of these like Japanese like food vendors or restaurants and like them making food, I would first off, if we'd go there, you might as well just wait 4 days before we show up to investigate, because it's going to take me 4 days to eat my fill and try all these foods.
And don't talk to me till I'm done.
Don't talk to me. I'm done. Don't even look at me. I'm going to look like a wild person. Because like, have you ever seen their giant fluffy like cheesecake things?
Oh yeah, had them. They're bean loaves.
Just tell me, because like they're so spongy and bouncy. Is it delicious?
It is delicious, and it's not delicious in the way you would think, because it's not like Western food where it's super sicky sweet. It's like perfectly balanced flavor, because it's bean mainly. It's red bean mainly, but it's just got enough sweet, and it melts in your mouth. It's just magical.
Like consistency of like angel food cake?
No. It's almost like, it's hard to describe it. It's almost like a heavy mousse, but it keeps its form.
Oh,
fantastic,
Dave. Oh,
I think Eli might have just had a moment, ladies.
Listen, I can't tell you how many times
need a tissue.
I've seen the videos of them, and then like they get their little brand, and they like almost like smack it like it's an ass cheek and brand it,
and
you just
watch it bounce.
And I'm like, man, I just want to eat that. I want to eat it so bad. It looks so good. And then like I'll see all these videos of like Western folks being like, oh, I've been living in Japan for 6 months. I eat 90% more than I did in the States, and I've not gained no weight.
Exactly, because their food doesn't have crap in it. It's just food. One of my favorite stories, it was one of the trips because the reason I went to Japan is because I worked for a Japanese company that had a manufacturing facility here in the States. So as the marketing person, I would go there to their headquarters to, you know, make plans and all of that. So what I would usually do is the week that I was going to be there for work, I would add on, since I'm already flying 14 friggin' hours, I would add on the weekend. So each of the opening weekend and the end weekend, I would go visit someplace. So I was in Kyoto, and I'd always heard about Sushi Iwa, which is this local sushi place that Steve Jobs would literally fly to Japan just to go get this sushi and then bring it back. So it was like this legendary small hole in the wall sushi place. So being a dummy, like just being ignorant of, you know, the tradition, I went there, and there's a certain flag with the symbol on it that you have to look for. That's the the sushi house, and I went in and asked for a seat, and there was like 2 people in there. But the guy told me, he said, you have to have a reservation. Like, we prepare the food knowing how many people are going to be here for each one. He's really nice about it.
Yeah.
Big guy. And I said, okay, cool. Well, I was going to be there for a couple of days. So I said, I'll make a reservation for tomorrow. And he said, okay. So he put me on the books, and I came back the next day. Had an amazing sushi meal. Great guy. He showed me pictures of him and Steve Jobs. He has Steve on the wall and all that. So I got photos with him, which are up on my Instagram. And then I said, well, what else is there to do here in Kyoto? And he recommended this club that's around the corner. And so I went down there and, was meeting up with some friends, and we were sitting around talking, and like we were there for like 6 hours. Because the thing about Japanese culture is like they get off of work and they go directly to eating and then bars. Like, and then they're at bars until they go back to work. Like they don't necessarily go home. So we were there for a long time, and literally it wasn't necessarily karaoke, but they had like an open mic where people could get up and perform. And this guy gets up in full Elvis Presley regalia, and he sings just like it. I mean, amazingly sings like it. And then as I'm watching this guy, I'm like, oh my God, that's the Sushi Iwa chef. Like, it was literally gone home. Like, he is known in the area for being the best Elvis Presley impersonator. And so I literally got to see him do that after the sushi stuff. But just fantastic culture. It was so cool.
I do want to go there. And like I said, if you want me to, like, I'll go out in Japanese woods and look for some of this stuff. It's going to have to be at night after I'm very full.
Yeah. So you can be the creature that people are trying to chase around.
Yeah. I'm going to be that guy like wandering around outside. Something like,
don't eat me.
Don't eat me. My face is up here. You got any more of that cheesecake?
I will not make you well. I promise you that.
If we go do this, if people want us to investigate this, we put up the Patreon. First off, the free Mo King shows, I would do whatever.
Oh yeah.
I will not eat for a week before we go.
In preparation. You'll be next to death.
Dave, you will have to carry me through the airport like a baby.
And then start feeding you back to life.
Just start feeding me. Because the other thing is, like, I see these videos.
The ramen, the real ramen.
And then, like, all these places that, they have a plate and they put, like, this, like, mound of rice. And then they do that weird foldy thing with, like, an omelet.
Uh-huh.
And put it on top of it, and they cut it. And it's, like, full of cheese. And,
like I said, food's a big deal there. It's a really big deal.
Which explains why all these things are always eating something, even if they're using their hair to feed themselves.
Whatever it takes, I guess.
Which is, once again, that just seems flawed.
It's not an efficient system. I'll put it that way.
No, because like now you got hair in your mouth.
Yeah.
Like, no one wants that.
You got mouth in your hair.
You got mouth in your hair. And then, like, how do you wash your hair now if there's a mouth back there? Like, will it bite your fingers?
Yeah.
If you're like shampoo, then you got shampoo in your mouth, which that's never good.
Can you imagine living in a constant state of hair in your mouth? Like, there's no getting around it. Like, I hate it when I get one hair in my mouth.
Yeah.
I can't do anything until I get it out. But to be in that constant state.
Oh, you have a beard like me. Do you ever have that look where, like, sometimes either because you slept weird or whatever, but like every once in a while you get like a wild hair in the corner of your mouth, it like curls into your mouth.
Oh yeah.
Like, and then you're just like, you're like, like fighting it. But now it's like touching your tongue because it's putting food in there.
It's like in the back of your mouth. It's aggressive.
But then I'm like, well, why don't you, like, I would try to figure out some other stuff to do with my long hair. Like,
maybe braid it.
Or
get
like
it out of the way.
I was thinking, like, if I'm like if I'm playing video games, like I could eat a snack with my hands that does not have hair on them. Use the mouse keyboard with my hair.
You know what, Eli? We might be onto something here if we could kind of tap into this, however this happens. Because what you could do is you could set up your Zoom call at work on one side and play video games on the other side, to where you could talk into the mic with the mouth.
Oh, you mean your back mouth?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, why do you always face the camera with your back of your... Well, I can't be on camera.
Why is your head always pulled down? Don't worry about it.
I can't be on camera. I'm
shy. Let's get back to work.
A skin condition And I don't appreciate you pointing it out. Okay.
Let's be more sensitive.
What's that clicking noise? Wow.
Let's talk about you for a little
Yeah. How about all the terrible things you're doing? You jerk.
Here I am doing my job, and all I get is criticisms.
Man, I tell you what, Dave, you might be honest, man. I keep thinking about it like if we could figure out, like, listen, if anybody is too afraid to investigate, let me rephrase that: investigate anything paranormal. We are not going to go solve true crime or like cold cases or anything. People die doing that.
Yeah,
but
we're going to frolic with the cryptids.
Yeah, if you want us to hunt down cryptids and ghosts, go into haunted places, sure, we're your people. No one's asked us to go to Skinwalker Ranch, and they're having trouble figuring it out. And if anybody can do it,
we've offered for 3 years.
Yeah,
it's almost negligence at this point.
It is.
It's like they don't want to find out.
No, you don't want to. You want to be ignorant of the truth.
Yeah,
like if you don't think we don't know what we're talking about, first off, how many other podcasts had a special alien report?
Yeah,
none. We did. How many keeps you up to date on what's going on every week? Oh, that's right. We do.
How many have given you exhaustive investigative information about the donkey lady?
None. Except for us. I've not heard of anybody have a plan about trying to go into one of these portals in Skinwalker Ranch. Oh, wait. I have a plan. No one's asking us. That's a shame. It's a shame. I'm just saying, like, oh, we can't get ghosts on camera? Bet you we could. We
would make sure we did.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Legitimately, wink.
Even if it's Dave running butt naked through the woods, going woo.
I tell you what, if we go away to places like Donkey Lady, and one of us is like, got donkey ears on, and they're just like smacking a car, like there she is. Now, where it's going to get weird is if we do get invited to Japan, they're like, hey, you should go find one of these butthole ghosts. Then it's going to have to be some straw drawing. Some straw drawing to see. You
don't think Jeff would be all over that? Come on.
Maybe the scrotum one. I don't know. You know what? You're right, though, because that's a painful one.
Yeah.
We have to buy a lot of silly putty.
Exactly.
Whatever company makes silly putty, like, we haven't had an order this large in years.
Yeah. Just go to the restaurant and say, we need all of your chicken skins. Stat.
Just up all night sewing. We'd have the smell down.
Oh, 100%.
That gross, bro. That gross.
Cross the line finally.
No, we're going to have to glue some hair on it, probably.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's a lot of work.
Who's going to rub that on their face?
That's what I mean. I don't want, like, that's a salmonella coli kind of situation.
It's a guaranteed disease.
So then I'm already saying not me, because I've already said that I will not stop eating the whole time I'm in Japan. I especially if those cakes are as delicious as you made them sound. 3 a day, 4 a day, maybe 5 a day.
That's your opener and your closer.
Every day. I'd buy one of these as a pillow so I could wake up in the morning to eat it. But I'll already lovely. It. Yeah. Oh, hello, Miss Lady.
Why aren't you in me yet?
I see those videos. Mary's like, what are you watching? I'm like, don't worry about
it. Don't look at me.
Oh, hell. All right, Dave, why don't you tell fine folks about the Wicked Wild?
Well, thanks for listening. We do appreciate all of the fun we have had through Jeff's block of movies here. It's been a blast. And we are literally days from Camp Wicked Wild. You can taste it. It's almost like tasting bean cake, mind you. It's like on the tip of our tongue. The anticipation is rising. We are literally entering into spooky season in a week. Can't wait.
Do you eat it plain? Or do they put like ice cream on it?
Some of them are stuffed with things like strawberry slices and stuff like that. But I like the plain ones myself, just because, like I said, I love the concept of something tasting good without having to have a bunch of salt and sugar in it. It's very novel. If you want to learn more about the podcast, you can do that at our website, thewickedwild.com. You can follow us on social media at Wicked Wild. We are on X and Slasher, the horror only community, and then on Instagram at Wicked Wild Pod. And if you want to send me an email, or if you want to sponsor our trip to crack open this cacophony of fantastic cryptids that exist in Japan, you can send me an email to get the ball rolling at podcast@thewickedwild.com.
I will, if it helps you, one of the Kickstarter tiers will be like me showing up at your house and giving you a lecture on your subject of choice that I get to pick.
Yeah, if you fully sponsor us to go to Japan to do this, we'll rename the podcast after you. We don't care.
Billy Bob presents.
Sure.
I'll shout out your name every week.
We'll craft your own little Buddha statue with the eyes popping out of it, and we'll float it around.
We'll make you a Cagner of each of the hosts.
Ooh, guaranteed. Handmade.
See? Oh, not out of our own poop.
Wink.
Hey, I have to close out, Dave. I got one more thing for you.
Sure.
You know, we've been around for 3 years now.
It's crazy.
Crazy. It's time, I think, for us to start expanding our brand a little bit, right?
Okay.
What if we did our own line of these bean cakes?
You just got it on your brain. You're not going to be able to get this out of your head for a while now.
But like, think about, we could bring it to the States, but we do like themed flavors.
Okay. I'm concerned.
So like the Mole King's Fever Dream Mountain Dew flavor.
I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. Mole King Mountain Dew flavored bean cake.
Yeah.
That's quite a statement.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Mountain Dew, or like yours, or like we do one filled with beef jerky. I don't know about beef jerky. That might be.
Are you okay, dude?
It's been a long couple weeks.
Are you trying to die?
if it buy one of those cakes, worth the risk.
You'll take it.
Worth the risk. Well, everybody, thanks for listening. And remember, if you're ever out in the woods and someone whips out their scrotum, they may not be a pervert.
Yeah, just follow it through.
Yeah, look for three signs.
If they float off in your boat, you're fine.
Do they have dog ears that are real? Did they stretch them over their face and make funny faces at you? And did you watch them float across it on a lake? If they did, you're fine. If none of those things apply, run.
Yeah.
Fast as you can. Bye.